Your life is every rank in the Mafia. You are 19 the first time someone tells you to sit down and wait. The room is small. One overhead bulb, two plastic chairs, the smell of stale coffee and cigarette smoke that never leaves the walls. No one explains anything. A man in his 40s flips through a small notebook while another watches you without speaking. You hear traffic outside, a bus braking, someone laughing down the block. Finally, the older man closes the notebook. You know why you're here? You nod, even though you're not sure. That's the first rule you learn. You agree before you understand. Associate. At the beginning, you are nothing. Not a member, not protected, not important. Just an associate. You run small errands, deliver envelopes, pick up packages, stand outside bars until 2 a.m., waiting for someone to come out and nod in your direction. You learn the geography of quiet transactions. The bakery on 7th Street where an envelope is always left under the register. The warehouse with a side door that sticks in winter. The apartment building where you climb 4 flights of stairs and knock exactly twice. You are paid in cash, sometimes $200 for a night, sometimes nothing but a promise that someone noticed you were reliable. Most of the time you are waiting, in parked cars, in back rooms, in restaurants where no one orders food. You begin to understand the hierarchy without anyone explaining it. Who speaks first? Who everyone stands up for? Who never has to raise their voice? The system isn't written down, but it is precise. Trusted errands. After a year, the jobs change slightly. You're no longer just carrying envelopes. Now you're collecting them. On Monday mornings, you visit 6 businesses across the neighborhood, a construction office, 2 bars, a car wash, a vending machine distributor. Each owner hands you a white envelope. Inside are neat stacks of $100 bills, $3,000, $5,000, sometimes $12,000 if the week was good. You never counted in front of them. You never ask questions. You drive the same route every week, same time, same order. You learn which owners smile and which ones look away when they pass you the money. You also learn that no one calls it extortion. They call it protection. The crew, by your 3rd year, you're allowed to sit in the back room during meetings. Not speak, just listen. There are 8 men in the crew. They control a few blocks of businesses, a small gambling operation, and several trucking routes that move goods between warehouses. The conversations sound ordinary. Insurance issues, construction permits, delivery delays, but every sentence has weight. You notice how decisions are made, not by votes, by silence. When the captain speaks, everyone else listens. If no one objects within a few seconds, the decision becomes permanent. The rules of the system are quiet but absolute. No one touches another crew's territory. No one attracts unnecessary police attention. And no one embarrasses the organization. Breaking any of these rules is not discussed openly, but everyone knows the consequences. Made man 7 years pass before the word membership is mentioned around you. By now you were 26. You've collected money, settled disputes, and proven you can keep your mouth shut. You've also done things that no one writes down. A bar owner who refused to pay suddenly changed his mind after a late-night visit. A gambler who owed $48,000 stopped missing payments after a conversation in a parking garage. Nothing spectacular, just quiet pressure applied over time. The ceremony happens in a dim apartment. 3 men sit at a kitchen table. A small picture of a saint is placed in your hands. A pin pricks your finger. A drop of blood falls onto the paper. The paper burns slowly in an ashtray while you repeat a promise. Loyalty, silence, obedience. The ritual lasts 4 minutes. Afterwards, someone hands you a drink and says, "Congratulations." That's it. No applause, no celebration. Just a new set of expectations. Now you belong. Soldier. As a soldier, the work becomes administrative. You oversee smaller earners, associates who run sports betting sheets, loan shark operations, and card games in basements across the city. You track numbers. $15,000 from gambling this week, $8,200 from loans, $3,400 from machines and convenience stores. You keep records in a notebook that never leaves your jacket. You learn to solve problems quietly. A business owner complains about payments. You talk to him. A gambler falls behind. You restructure the debt. An associate becomes careless. You remind him of the rules. Everything is negotiation. Violence exists, but it's inefficient. The system prefers compliance. Captain 12 years in. You are 31. A captain retires suddenly. Health problems. A quiet exit. You inherit his crew. 23 people now report upward through you. You manage territories, disputes, and financial flows that move nearly $2 million a year through various businesses. Most of your time is meetings, restaurants before opening hours, social clubs in the afternoon, private homes after midnight. The conversations become more careful. You now think about police investigations, wiretaps, informants. You learn how bureaucracy works inside a criminal system. Permissions, approvals, territories mapped in memory. Nothing major happens without clearance from higher levels. Even conflicts require paperwork of a kind. Conversations that pass through layers of authority before anything changes. Personal life. During these years, something else changes quietly. Your family stops asking about your work. Your girlfriend becomes your wife, but she never meets most of your colleagues. You come home late, sometimes 3 a.m., sometimes later. There are dinners you miss, vacations you cancel, phone calls you take outside the house. At first you explain things, then you stop explaining, because explaining would require honesty, and honesty doesn't fit inside this structure. Consigliere. At 40, you're invited into a smaller circle, advisory meetings. The boss trusts your judgment. You review disputes between crews, financial risks, and relationships with legitimate businesses that help move money through the system. You spend more time studying numbers than threatening people. Shell companies, property investments, waste management contracts worth $8 million annually. The organization now looks less like a gang and more like a corporation with illegal foundations. You realize something important during these years. The violence people imagine is only a small part of the machine. Most of the system runs on routine, paperwork, money flows, quiet agreements. The realization comes slowly. You are sitting in a restaurant that opens in 40 minutes. A young associate is standing where you once stood. Nervous, trying to appear confident, he reminds you of yourself 20 years earlier. You notice the same pattern repeating. New recruits, small errands, gradual compromises. The structure absorbs them the way it absorbed you. You also realize something else. You never really chose this life after the first few years. The system kept moving, and you moved with it. Exit. At 58, your health begins to slow you down. Long nights become harder. Meetings blur together. You request a step back. Not retirement exactly, just less responsibility. The transition is quiet. Your territory goes to someone younger. Your advisory role becomes occasional consultations. A new captain sits in the chair where you once sat. The conversations continue without you. The collections still happen every Monday morning. The envelopes still move through the same routes. New associates still wait in small rooms for instructions. The system does not collapse. It adjusts. Final perspective. Years later, you sit in a quiet cafe far from the old neighborhood. You watch people walking to work, office workers, construction crews, delivery drivers. You think about the structure you once belonged to. It was never about individuals. Not really. People came and went. Some disappeared. Some retired quietly, but the system remained, because systems like that are designed to continue. You finish your coffee and step outside. Across the city, somewhere, a 19-year-old is sitting in a small room with a single light bulb, waiting for someone to close a notebook and ask him a question, and the cycle begins again.